Okay, welcome back to another video for the vibesworkshop.com website. All you guys who are subscribers, please keep on top of all these lessons from everybody, all the faculty, and share the wealth, continue to evolve and grow. So you get the idea. I'm not a coach, but here to give you some cool ideas. We just did a video last time on clave possibilities, 3-2 son, 3-2 rumba, rotations, bass clave, and I thought it'd be cool to then try to take that sequence into more of kind of a samba-like groove. So you can almost think of the clave concepts as maybe the A section of a tune, really kind of relaxed and also involved, some possibilities. But then maybe to a busier B section in this kind of samba pulse. Why not combine styles and see what you come up with? So this particular study, though, goes through some interesting navigation points in terms of meter and feel. And right now I am wearing the ankle bells, and I'm going to keep the pulse because it's actually notated in the page. So what you want to do is pause right now and download this page called, there's nothing on it really, but it's basically what I call Sambinary. Samba and binary combined. It's all kind of exploring these particular styles, and it's a much busier and denser groove taking place in the hands, and of course the foot is just highlighted as the beat in the bottom. There's a whole second phase to this study where the foot changes to a 3 feel, but if there's enough interest, I can explore that. Really now I'm just kind of keeping it clean and pure in this sort of 4 pulse, which will of course work with our clave. So what's going on? This is an original phrase, and actually I use this for one of my compositions called Smoke on my Cuba CD. Ken Shaphorst, the chairman at New England Conservatory and dear colleague and friend going back many, many years, decades now, he wrote horn arrangements to go with my particular creation of this tune, which is called Smoke, and it goes, this particular groove, the first basic groove we're going to look at, is featured as a bell pattern and a stick pattern. In fact, I will also have that set up for you to see what I'm talking about. I think that's a good place to begin as I figure this all out. So if we look at the first bar of the phrase, it's basically repeated. So it's a 4-bar phrase. I just put it there 4 times so you get into the sense of the repetition of it all. And the top line is the bell pattern. And I borrowed this bell pattern from a very fun and popular rhythm from the Ewe people of Ghana, where the bell and the drum actually come from. It's a rhythm called tokwe, and it's a fun dance for kids. Very lively, very, very interesting and intricate patterns played on the master drum, the atsemevu, and I'll start to include links to some of those video examples so you can see some of that. But and needless to say, the bell pattern follows this idea. 1 and 2 and 3 up for E. 1 and 2 and 3 up for E. Now, it's possible, and I'm not quite entirely sure, that the actual bell pattern begins on beat 3, like this. Everything becomes very cyclic in their awareness. Perhaps it's all in 2/4, where there's a bar, that I just outlined, and then the second half. So I decided to flip it, if that's the case, to this orientation, starting with the 8th note. So the constants and then the tension. So you get the idea. Then I came up with my own original little sticking pattern, like a Polito's pattern, maybe like on a side of a timbali. And of course this would work very nicely in that realm. And that pattern does this. It's a little busier. So it has a kind of a flip right here. That's where it flips to the offbeat. And then it flips back down. And that's very similar to how the 12/8 Igbeko or Bembe bell, which I'm heading towards. But just by the way, I wanted to kind of have this flip off and then flip back on again. So when you put the two together, you get this. So since I'm on the drum here, let's talk about what I do next. That's the phrase and the groove that I play for my tune, and it's wonderful. But I started to think, like anybody should who works with these ideas, develops lessons and new ideas, what would happen if I shifted it to 3/4? And that's what I'm going to do next. Now, I decided to not take off a beat from the end, the fourth beat. I decided to eliminate the first beat and kind of follow that sequence of eliminating the beginning of the phrase. This is a common technique used in some of the yatis of South Indian music. The Gopucha yati, which kind of slices from the beginning. It means the cow's tail, so this curling of the phrase. Anyway, don't want to go on those tangents. The whole phrase in 4 is this. Then from 3/4 becomes 1, 1. I was just repeating that 3/4 bar and navigating the sliding of my bell here. Then it moves to the 2/4 bar in the third line, and it's the same idea. Eliminate the first beat of the previous, and you get this. So you get continuous offbeat hits on the stick pattern, on the wood, and that gives lots of energy. Now there was no way to eliminate the first beat and come up with something that kind of works nicely, so I decided to just go into this 4/3 combination, which basically picks up, is drawn from the inspiration of the very first beat. So I continue that sequence, kind of bending the rules a bit for the purpose of musicality, to become this. So let me play through the whole sequence, and I'll mention that I'm going to begin in 4/4. I'll say I'm going to switch to the 3, as in 3/4, switch to the 2, as in the 2/4, and then the ending. Okay, so here's that sequence, and we're going to put it to the instrument. So here we go. Three, 4. 2/4. Ending. Beginning. You get the idea. Now again, the second phase of this study is I change the feel of the foot. But we're not really working with foot awareness right now, obviously, but I'm going to, just so we have a sense of the pulse. But let's take this all now to the balafon, to the marimba, to the vibraphone, to wherever you like. I'm going to be very literal with the examples. The bell pattern, or the bell pattern is going to be in my fun little interval here. And then I'm going to play. Those little offbeats at the end, I figured why not move around? And then at the end, I'll show you how this can work with the clave pattern from before. So here's the goal. I'm not going to go too fast. I tend to. Let me slow it down a bit for your purpose. Then at the end, I'll kind of give you the cooking version. So here we go. First, 4/4. Ready? First phrase really slowly. It takes on a new life when it's at tempo, but the mechanics. And once you have the first bar, the 4/4 bar, then you can start to dissect it to bring it down to the other cells, if you choose. Here we go. Here we go. So just follow along with the notation. Now here's a little bit of the clave going into this. So I'm going to just keep the 3-2 clave, maybe the son. So we have. So actually. Here we go. Because I'm using the same notes, the kind of the same design and architecture, that motivically works very nicely. And really, ultimately, it's a combination of all these different ideas, as we know: mechanics, phrases, independence, harmony and melody, of course, that kicks in. But if you're working with sort of ostinato vamps and grooves, and really getting inside the word groove on the mallet instruments, what does that really mean? Does it take on new meaning? Are we talking about just ostinatos, like in the classical world? It all grooves, man. I'm telling you. So find your way, find your path, and download the page. Send me comments and questions. Looking forward to more. I'm having fun. Hope you are too. Talk to you later.